If you and I were out during the break talking, and I said to you, hey, how much money do you make? Who would be eager to tell me about that? Like 4 people. Okay, cool. If I said instead, hey, I'm really curious about you, how much money do you make? Not really much more. What if I had said, hey, I've got this energy healing practice, and it's going really well, and I've got some great clients, and they really like the results, and funny thing is, I'm not seem to be making the kind of money I'm wanting to like support a life. I'm not really able to charge for whatever reason, the rates that I think that I should be charging, and I don't really know why. I've got this money thing going on. Like, it's been around for a long time. I almost didn't go to college because my mom didn't want to fill out the financial aid paperwork. Like, that's none of their business. Nobody needs to know about that sort of thing. So I've always had this money thing up, and I'm hoping to, if I can like bring it up in conversation and have a little openness around it, maybe have some financial conversations, it might sort of have less of a grip on me. Do you mind if I ask you, how much money do you make? How many of you willing to tell me at that point? Almost everybody. That's super interesting to me. Like, why is that? This is, for me, it seems clear that revealing my experience somehow has an effect on what you guys are all willing to share. So we're going to talk about revealing. And part of the conversation for me in revealings is around agendas. And so I want to start by talking about agendas. Right? They're not always that bad. But here's the worst kept secret of all time. You ready? We all have agendas all of the time. And we all know about it. Like, you have agendas. Your agenda in being here is to learn about relational leadership. My agenda in being here is to talk about how wonderful revealing is and how important I think it is. And those are fine, no problem. We have less obvious agendas. Like, it's my agenda in being here to feel good about myself. It's my agenda in being here to justify calling myself a relational leader in front of my community. So we all have agendas. Here's like big, worst kept secret number 2. We don't always reveal our agendas. And we all know that. Like, who's surprised by that? We all have agendas and we don't always reveal them. Nobody. We always have agendas. We never reveal them, and everybody knows that that's the case. And so we're always sort of on the lookout for them. I want to tell you a story about I was in high school, and I wanted to ask this girl to the prom. That's not me. She was super cute and friendly, and she was smart, and she was funny, and she would talk to me. And I wanted to ask her to prom. It was great, and I was really scared. We'd never gone on a date or anything. She didn't know I liked her. I didn't know if she liked me. Blah blah blah. The whole high school thing. And so I'm like, okay, I gotta let her know. I gotta tell her that I like her. We gotta have this conversation. And I was going through the whole thing in my mind, and it looked something like this. I was gonna sit her down, and I was gonna say to her, "What do you think of me?" Yeah. Fortunately, I chickened out instead of doing that, and that didn't happen. But it was so obvious that I had an agenda there, even though I was asking about her experience. Like, nominally, what do you think of me? That's her experience, but my agenda was way the biggest thing in the room. Whenever we're out talking to people, when we say something like, I want to know about you, the first reaction is going to be why? Like, what's your agenda? We're not sort of out in the street authentically relating to everybody because we have this implicit agreement, this agreement among everybody. It goes like this: I have an agenda and you have an agenda, and let's not talk about it. And let's just figure out sort of subtly what these agendas are before we open ourselves up at all. The way we get around this in our authentic relating communities and practices is because we have a different agreement. We have an agreement, we step into the room and we have an agreement of let's drop our defenses. Let's open up our, maybe not so much reveal our agendas, maybe, but let's kind of drop our guard for a little while and see what happens. And we've all been here. Like, magic happens. That's why we're all here. This beautiful thing happens when we have this agreement to do something different. But we can't just go out into the world and say to a random person on the street, or even maybe my family, hey, let's you and I make a different agreement here and drop our guards and we'll share deep stuff. It was like, what? No, what are you talking about? But here's like the whole key of the talk is if you do it first, you can invite other people into that. If you can't see this in the back, there's a couple stick figures saying, hey, if you show me yours, I'll show you mine. And the other one's like, okay. And you open it up, and like the hearts are revealed. And this really happens. If we reveal ourselves first, we invite the people with us to reveal themselves too. If we move into an authentic position first, we invite others to go into that authentic place as well. This works really well in relationships. I have this agreement with my girlfriend that we can ask each other for a reveal. It might look like this. If she comes to me and says, hey, that conference that you wanted to go to next week, do you really think that's the best way to spend your money? Yeah. Like, I feel, as soon as I hear that, I feel trapped. And I'm about to start defending myself about this is my money, not yours. And when for me, the little hook, the trigger is if I feel trapped from a conversation, I ask her for a reveal. Like, hey, what's the reveal? What's kind of saying, what's your agenda? But I'll ask her to reveal what's going on for her. And she's bought into this agreement, and she's got the integrity to do it. She's great. She'll think about it and say, we haven't spent a lot of time with each other lately, and I'm feeling lonely. And I don't want you to go to this conference. And that changes the conversation. That changes the conversation from the money conversation, let's be honest, the money fight that was about to happen there, into the thing that was really alive. Because the money thing was never really alive. It changes the conversation into what's really there. This can change relationships. Like, I don't know how many fights we've not had because we have this agreement, which isn't anything special. It's not training. It's tell me what you're feeling really. So if there were an art to revealing, in my world, this is what it would look like. And we're doing a breakout group on T group in a little while, which is where I learned all of this stuff. First thing is make it about you. When we say let's reveal, there's this idea of, hey, I'm going to just shout out everything. Like, I'm just revealing my truth to you. You've been a terrible wife. This isn't really the place for projecting, for like vomiting all over somebody. Make it about you. If you talk about yourself, people will listen. If you talk about them, they get defensive. So make it about you. Second thing is reveal first. This can be scary. This can be vulnerable. This can be risky. Nobody really wants to expose themselves without any sort of assurance that they're not going to get hurt in the process of it. But somebody has to go first. It may as well be us. Like, we're the relational leaders here. We're the people in the community that we've done a lot of work on ourselves. We've done the process and the growth work. We can handle our triggers. We know how to deal with our wounds when they come up. We should be the ones to be revealing first. This is how we change the context from a context of let's sort of be wary of each other's agendas into I'm going to reveal first. I'm going to do something different, and I'm going to invite you into it. We all have agendas anyway. We may as well reveal ours. Be honest about it. The last thing is reveal deeply. A lot of times in circling, people say things like, oh, I'm really curious about that. oh, I'm really interested in that. And that's sort of a superficial level reveal. Like when I asked you guys, when I said, yeah, but I'm really curious, how much money do you make? Didn't really help. This is one of the best lessons I've learned from T Group is there's something underneath my superficial reveal that has me really wanting to ask the thing. If there's, why am I curious? What inside me is going on that has me curious about you? Maybe it's as basic and superficial as, hey, where are you from? Now, I might not reveal all this, but what's probably going on is, hey, I don't know you, and I'm a little uncomfortable with you. And I don't like that. Like, all my friends say you're a great guy, and I would love to get to be comfortable around you, but I feel kind of unsafe. And so I'm hoping that if I can develop some rapport, I'll be a little more comfortable. Where are you from? And that's really long-winded for something that light, but look for this. It's what I call the feeling under the feeling. When I've done this in my past, in my practice, I found that looking for this feeling under the feeling, I find it. And that actually has me getting my world better. And my self-awareness goes up. It also, when I'm naming things like this, it puts some sunlight on it. And I become a little more comfortable with it, and I become a little less ashamed of some of these things. And actually, in time, I become more comfortable with myself by revealing these things that are going on. Last little story I want to tell. I was in a tea group with a few people, and there was this woman who was sharing a bunch of stuff, and it was beautiful. It was really nice. And there was a guy next to her, and he said, "You blow me away." And for me, that was like there was that was pretty. That was kind of beautiful. And you could tell there was something going on. Like, I'm pretty good at reading people, and I know this guy. And so I knew what was going on in his history and what, like, I knew the facts about the thing that he was feeling. And it kind of looked like, color's better here, kind of looked like this picture. I knew what was going on. I know what's going on in this picture. It's flowers. It's a seascape. But it was kind of that level, like, I'm curious about you level of reveal, and I was wanting to see more. And we were in this practice, and so I could ask him, like, can you reveal more about that? And he did, and it was beautiful. Like, when he started really going into all the stuff that was going on for him inside, you could see, like, the emotion play across his face. You could see stuff coming into his eyes, a little bit of tears. You could hear his voice waver a little bit. Like, listening to him, my mirror neurons started firing, and I felt what it was like for him to feel blown away. And in that moment, when he was really describing what was going on for him deeply, my experience of life changed from this level quality to that quality. From that quality, which is what was normally going on, to this. My whole existence sort of got a little bit more vibrant. And this is what one of the things I'm really wanting the reason I'm here is because this is what I want in my life. I want to be around people that reveal at this level of depth so that I can feel my life around them this vibrant. And we're relational leaders, and we're the ones that people are looking up to. And so if we can take this idea, reveal yourself deeply, reveal yourself first, talk about yourself. If we can take this and reveal what's really going on for us, the people in our lives will have their experience go from this to this. And they're going to want to say, what is that? I want more of that. And so we, by revealing ourselves more deeply and more often and first, we can have the people around us feeling like this. And then they take that out and they bring that into their lives. And it's simple. Here's what we do. Ready? This is what I'm feeling. This is what's really going on for me. Thank you.